I'm not a relationship person, I cannot wait to die alone, and I date younger men casually and recreationally for sex. I want to help redefine what society thinks an older woman should look like, be like, dress like, act like, work like, date like, and fuck like.
So can you talk about what your style says about you?
I am actually somebody who really loves dressing up. I think one of the most appalling beliefs going around culturally is that older women should cease to dress in certain ways or should dress in certain ways. I don't give a damn whether anybody thinks I shouldn't be wearing a skirt this short, I shouldn't be baring my legs, I shouldn't be taking my clothes off on film. The patriarchy is out to control women in every way possible. And that includes policing what women put on their bodies as much as policing women's bodies in general, policing women's sexuality, policing women's reproductive rights. Unfortunately, there are a lot of women who've internalized misogyny as well. And so those, rules are perpetuated by women as much as by men, but they are fundamentally born of a male-dominated society that believes that women should be controlled in every way possible.
Can you talk about assumptions that people make about you based on your appearance?
If you look at me, I guess you'd think, there's somebody who wants to be seen, wants to be noticed, wants to be visible, and you'd be absolutely correct. I have never, ever wanted to be married. I have never wanted children. I'm not a relationship person. I cannot wait to die alone, and I date younger men casually and recreationally for sex. I still occasionally get one of two responses to the fact that I'm not married and I don't have kids. One response is, oh, the poor dear thing. She never found anybody who wanted to marry her. Then the second response is, oh my God, a woman who doesn't want kids. How unnatural, a freak of nature. I would just love so many more people to take a long, hard look at themselves and go, what would really make me happy? Let me strip out of my mindset around these things everything my parents are saying to me, everything my friends are all doing at the same time, everything that society and popular culture tells me I should want. What do I really want? What would really make me happy? I'm regularly asked, how do you get to be this confident? And the answer is 61 years of life. Absolutely, when I was younger, I cared about what people thought. I thought I should conform to certain things. And it's just been a gradual realization over the years I've lived that fuck that shit.
Why didn't you want to get married? And when did you know that?
I've had two, relatively long-term relationships in my life. One when I was in my early 40s for 2.5 years. When I ended it, I went, never want to do that again. There was imbalance in our different life stages and our different incomes. I'm just happier, living my life the way I want to, as opposed to having to factor in a whole bunch of considerations around how somebody else's life is going. I am so happy that every boyfriend I ever had at Oxford dumped me. Okay, hallelujah, because I thought I was in love. And had they asked me to marry them, I would have happily done so, and I would have knowingly and willingly ruined my life. Women are sold the concept of love as self-sacrifice. Yep, it's going to be hard, but if you love them enough, you'll make it through. And by the way, I'm speaking heteronormatively deliberately because this is where we are all sold a bill of goods when it comes to love. It's not true that sex sells. It is absolutely true that love sells. When I was a kid, that was my assumption. One day I would have children because it's what you do. My mother is Chinese. Obviously, separate to the fact that that's what women are expected to do, especially in Asia, marriage and kids is what it's all about. I regularly give thanks to the Lord I never had children. And by the way, I adore children. I have, 3 nieces, 3 nephews, 4 goddaughters, a godson. I adore them all. I love spending time with them. I love babies. I love hanging out with kids. People go into having children in oiled grooves, zero questioning. And then, holy hell, it's a shit show. And I absolutely know that for many people, the shit show aspect is balanced out by the reward and the wonder and the love. But for a ton of people, the shit show aspect is not balanced out by any of that. And very difficult upbringings can result. There are a ton of women out there who wish they'd never had children, but dare not say so. Because this is the absolute final taboo. As women, from the moment we're born, we are told that our entire life is a search for the one. This is deeply unfortunate because what this means is every social event you go to, will he be there? That means that you spend bloody hours glamming yourself up, worrying about how you look, what you're going to wear. You go to the event, and then at the end of the night, you trudge home going, he wasn't there, maybe he'll be at the next one. At some point in my early 30s, I just went, sod this, not looking for the one anymore. And then, oh my God, that was so surprisingly freeing. Because basically, you could just go to social events and not give a shit. I mean, honestly, the moment you decide you don't want to be in love, that just takes a whole layer of crap out of your life. It's ironic that I've never wanted to get married and have children because, my parents had a fantastically loving marriage. They were married for 60 years before my father died a couple of years ago. My mother's still alive at the age of 89. I have 3 sisters whom I adore. We're lucky enough to be a very close family. Like many, many people, my parents never ever talked to us about sex. My mother being Chinese, the extent of the conversation was, girls, you stay virgin till you marry. That was it. I mean, I absolutely internalized that sort of repression. It wasn't till I, went to university, went to Oxford, that I really began dating and encountering men at scale because, Brunei was a Muslim country, so very, orthodox in that sense. I went to an all-girls boarding school.
So did you have any sexual experiences until college? Or?
No. Because I didn't internalize my mother's instructions, I did an awful lot of everything but. As one does.
Oh, but everything but sexual intercourse.
Yeah, exactly. That was really where I began realizing what a wonderful thing sex was.
And when you lost your virginity, intercourse, is that did you feel bad that you were breaking your mom's rules, or were you what?
God, I was long past my mother's influence by that stage. Okay. Bear in mind, I'm 61, and so, I was basically having sex with men who were not influenced by online porn. I had a lovely sex life, I don't remember having any issues getting what I wanted at all. But I do think that subsequently, I feel very strongly about there being much more openness and honesty and healthy education around sexuality. Not only is there an appalling lack of sex education in the world today, but what there is focuses on, oh my God, sexually transmitted diseases, it's all bad, as opposed to, this is a wonderful, pleasurable thing, you're going to really enjoy it, and now here's just some, good things to know about it.
When you started dating younger men, and what was going on that prompted you to realize that you wanted to do that?
Dating younger men was a complete and total accident. I used to run an advertising agency in New York, and we were asked to pitch for an online dating brand. I was single. I thought, okay, I have to do this for business reasons. Why not do it for real? I was, completely honest about everything, including my age. First of all, I got an avalanche of responses, which was very good for the ego. 75% of those responses were from younger men. So obviously a bunch of young guys out there going, whoopee! So I thought, gosh, hadn't thought about this, but hey, works for me.
Did you make a decision at some point that you liked the dating younger men better than your own age?
Oh my God, hallelujah, yes.
And why again?
I date younger men for sex. I want lots of stamina and very short recovery periods. I don't get those with men my own age. I began realizing through dating younger men that I was encountering an issue that honestly would never have crossed my mind if I had not encountered it very intimately and personally. I was experiencing what happens when today's total freedom of access to hardcore porn online meets our society's equally total reluctance to talk openly and honestly about sex. When those two factors converge, porn becomes sex education by default in not a good way. Porn world, women have no hair down there. Real world, some women like to shave their pussies, some women don't. When I was dating younger men, I had in fact gone the full Brazilian bikini wax route. At some point I went, can't be bothered. I've absolutely met men who love women who have hairy pussies who are au naturel, but I've also encountered a couple of men who've gone, oh, ooh. I mean, it's my own experience made me begin thinking, wow, interesting issue. And then I began seeing around me the evidence of that. 13 years ago now, I put up on no money this tiny, clunky website at makelovenotporn.com. Thousands of people wrote to me from every country in the world, pouring their hearts out, telling me things about their porn-watching habits and their sex lives they'd never told anybody before. We all get vulnerable when we get naked. Sexual egos are very fragile. People therefore find it bizarrely difficult to talk about sex with the people they're actually having it with while they're actually having it. And I realized that I had uncovered a huge global social issue. And our mission is one thing only, which is to help make it easier for every single person in the world to talk openly and honestly about sex. And so we are pioneering the social sex revolution.
What would you say has been your biggest struggle?
My biggest struggle in life has been keeping Make Love Not Porn going, because every single piece of business infrastructure any other tech startup gets to take for granted, we can't. The small print always says no adult content. I can't get funded. I can't get banked. We cannot advertise Make Love Not Porn on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Reddit. It's not just Make Love Not Porn. Any female lens sexual health and wellness cannot advertise. Menstruation ventures can't advertise on Facebook and Instagram. Menopause ventures can't. Fertility ventures can't. In the meantime, male sexual health and wellness ventures, erectile dysfunction solutions, come on in, everywhere. It's out bloody rageous. You know, I've been depressed about Make Love Not Porn for so long that it's a natural state of being. I regularly have that 3 a.m. dark night of the soul. I've absolutely had those moments when I don't want to get out of bed. I've had those moments of low productivity. And what I do in that situation is I acknowledge that I am feeling really depressed about my circumstances right now. I'm not going to be able to be productive, so I'm going to forgive myself for that. And I'm not going to worry about it. And then I'm going to pick things up when I'm feeling, you know, in a better mood.
Okay. Did you take your dress off?
Sure.
Yeah. What do you love the most about your body?
That it's kept going with virtually no health issues whatsoever for 61 years. What makes you sexually attractive and desirable is you. And your body is hot as hell because it's yours. All of that bollocks in a male lens cultural society, and by the way, you know, my industry, advertising, contributes to this. Everything they say about what people find sexually attractive is completely wrong. You are incredibly attractive because you're you. Your body's incredibly attractive because it's yours, and you don't need to look at any ludicrous aesthetic standards set by anybody else. Live your life, don't give a shit about what your body looks like. You will absolutely find people who think you're the hottest thing out.
When do you feel the most beautiful?
Probably when I'm having sex. I think that's a moment when you especially revel in your own beauty. It's you naked, you know, you being a sexual person, you being appreciated by somebody else, you appreciating yourself in the moment.
Last question. Why in your body, in your skin, in your journey, why is it a good place to be?
In my body, in my skin, in my journey is a great place to be because I've made it to 61. Whoopee! I can't think of anybody I'd rather be. I mean, I don't want to look any different, and I can't think of anything else I'd rather be doing. I said Make Love Not Porn is an accident. As the saying goes, the path appeared. I just feel enormously lucky and very fortunate to be in this body, in this life, and on this path.
Thank you to our partner Bonafide for standing with us in our pursuit to destigmatize menopause and defy ageism taboos.
When I was going through menopause about 10 years ago, I felt very overwhelmed with having nowhere to turn in terms of understanding what was happening to me, how to deal with the symptoms. And I really wish that there was a company like Bonafide making organic and natural products that would have helped me in so many ways that I didn't have at that time. All Bonafide products are scientifically validated and recommended by over 8,000 doctors across the country.
And they offer hormone-free relief from menopausal symptoms like hot flashes, night sweats, and vaginal dryness. Save up to $30 a month when you bundle 2 or more of your favorite Bonafide products together and opt for a bundle subscription.
Bonafide wants you to find relief from menopausal symptoms so that you don't have to suffer through it like so many people have.
If you're interested in a naturally derived but effective solution to menopause, try 20% off your first subscription with code StyleLikeU today.
Thanks for tuning into this week's episode of What's Underneath with Cindy Gallop.
For more interviews like this, subscribe to Style Like You.
And don't forget to click the bell so that you're reminded of when we drop a new episode on Thursdays.